Good Friday evening, everybody. Welcome in. Did I freeze up here? Hold on one second here. Sorry if. Let's see. Good. There we are. Sorry, guys. I had a little bit of a freeze session there. I don't know. Maybe I have too many things going on here because it is truly a Friday frenzy here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network. I am Big Al. And the Eagles continue to pick. We have another pick that just rolled in. We're going to talk about that in a minute. The draft is underway. We got our first round of the draft. We got the second round. And we're into the third round. It's a frenzy. The Sixers are playing right now. They are down 2 points, 90-92, to the Celtics in the fourth quarter with about 4 minutes left. The Phillies are losing. Some of you heard that one before. We will do a little bit. We're doing a bridged fight in final tonight. We got too much to talk about. We got Flyers hockey on the verge of a possible sweep. Yes, you heard me correctly. Pittsburgh is crying. Pittsburgh cannot catch a break against Philadelphia this weekend. It is pandemonium in Pittsburgh to the absolute point that we have them chanting F the Flyers in the opening scenes of the NFL draft in Pittsburgh. That's right. Nothing. You want to make us the villain? Go right ahead. I'm okay with us playing the villain. It is just nice to see. Listen, you can talk all the smack you want. I get it. Has the Pittsburgh Penguins had success over the Flyers over the years? Absolutely. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like that didn't happen. But right here, right now, in the moment, in 2026, Flyers are one of the hottest teams in hockey. Dan Vladar, a little questionable for this game with his hand injury that he had after the last game, but we'll keep our eye. Maybe Sam Harrison gets his shot in goal for game 4. Could be worse scenarios. Hopefully he's healthy and ready to go. But the Flyers are flying. The Sixers are putting up a fight. I still said gentleman's sweep. I could still be right. I don't know, but right now it's 96-92, and the Phillies are down 5-3 in Atlanta. Just a pitiful team. I mean, it's sad. It really. I mean, people were discussing with me about the Phillies and what are we going to do with these Phillies? It's simple. You have to fire Topper. Like especially if you lose this series. I mean, there should be no thought in your mind. If they come back and win this series two out of 3 games, or sweep the Braves somehow, come back and win this game, maybe you have a leg to stand on. But even then, I don't even know if that's enough. I think he's all but done at this point. Like, it has to happen. But let's talk about your Philadelphia Eagles. Big stuff. Taking a wide receiver in the first round, Mekhi Lemon, USC. Last USC wide receiver was Nelson Aguilar. But one good year brought us what we saw as a championship. So, it is what it is. One of the better wide receivers in the draft. Some personality issues. When they were interviewing him, I honestly, I think he was intoxicated. To be honest with you, he was all over the place. We just picked up an offensive tackle, I believe. I'll get into that. They also picked up Eli Stowers, the tight end from Vanderbilt. More speedy, more athletic, not so much in the blocking, which I would have liked to see. Grenard, they made the trade with Grenard for a third this year and a third next year with the Vikings. Not really what I would have thought, to be honest with you. In just complete honesty, I'm not a big. I'm not on highs on Grenard as most people are. We'll talk about that. And then they also made their other third round pick tonight. So we're going to get into that as well. And actually, let me bring that up right now. So, and then also, guys, I'd be absolutely remiss if I didn't tell you happy birthday to our man, our Lord and Master here at the It's a Wrap Sports Network, Matty B. Yes, Matty B is 127 years old, young today. And he is now, his happy birthday is getting towards the end of today, but it is still today and it's still his birthday. So we gotta wish him a happy birthday. So we're going to talk about this. We got a lot to go. So guys, this will truly be a frenzy on a Friday talking Philly sports. We got all 4 sports going technically at this point. I mean, the Eagles aren't playing, but the NFL is a big swing today. I mean, I've covered a lot of things: World Series baseball, Super Bowl football, some playoff basketball, but there's nothing like the draft when you're covering it. Like the NFL has made such a spectacle out of picking players in just in an amazing way. But with the number 68 pick, the Eagles selected Miami offensive tackle Markel Bell. So they got their OT. There was some kind of conspiracy theories with the whole other offensive tackle. We'll get into a moment that I've seen kind of floating around already online. But Mekhi Lemon, a wide receiver, kind of put everything, kind of put it out there. The Eagles are trading A.J. Brown. Now, he's not A.J. Brown. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that at all. But it's time for Devontae Smith to become number 1. At least he is a character player. He's not going to make it about him. He can get no passes in a game, and he'll be just as happy if he got 1,000 passes. That's the kind of player he is. And we're going to miss AJ. We're going to miss his abilities. We're going to miss his productivity. I will not miss the BS. I will be honest with you on that. But it's going to be hard to replace him. But the wide receiver room is kind of getting stacked and looking a lot like what Green Bay does. So Sean Mannion kind of putting his imprint on the offense before the season even starts. So we're seeing a lot of that. I imagine they're going to have to go defense the next pick in the 4th round. So you're going to see a lot of defense in day 3, I'd imagine, with the Eagles, unless they jump up in the draft. Like I said, we will do a Fightins final tonight, but a very abridged final because I could just play back one from the last few nights. I'll go to my last Friday night one and just play that back for you. It's it's the same schlock. Score early, score a little bit, score, take a lead, and they give up the lead in the next one. The bullpen is just horrible, just horrible. I mean, there's no way around it. Like, there's no way of sugarcoating anything besides they're a disjointed. And I said I've watched a lot of bad baseball. I said earlier, I've watched a lot of bad baseball in my time. But I watch bad built teams play bad baseball. On paper, this team is a very good team. This team is a very highly paid team, and that's what I think makes this just kind of a lot different than anything we watched in the mid to late 90s and early 2000s and 2000 all the way up to 2007. It just makes it different. Like, this team, they look pathetic. Like nobody fears them. Like, it's almost like as a team, you want to play the Phillies because it's like a series off, like a little vacation of sorts. You know what I mean? A mini bye week. We get to play a little bit of baseball just to win. Guys, what's going on? Little G, Eagles need a safety. I really think they're going to allow defense in day 3. I would have thought it would have been more. I mean, they did make a defensive move in Grenard. Didn't draft him. They need some cost-effective guys down. And I'll get into why I'm not huge on the Grenard trade in a moment. Eagles got Lemon, Stower, and now Bell. Yeah, absolutely. Star Wars as well as Grenard. We talked about that. And Joe Hal. Hello, everybody. So if I'm talking fast tonight, guys, don't mind me. It's because we got a lot to cover tonight and keep up. I'm going to try to keep my eye on this atrocious Phillies game. Keep my eye on the draft and Twitter and what's going on there, and kind of poke over at the Sixers game. And we're going to talk Phillies, and we're going to talk. We're going to also talk the Flyers. Big game 4 tomorrow. What can I say? Everything has been coming up Philly against Pittsburgh over the last week or so. As we all know, the draft is in Pittsburgh, and I talked about on coming into the show how we got the F the Flyers opening up the draft on one of the ESPNs or something. But also Mekhi Lemon. So everybody knows how this worked out. We have number 23. Here comes number 23 pick for the Eagles. They moved up to number 20. They traded with the Dallas Cowboys, both of our 4th round picks, the Dallas Cowboys. And they jumped over the Steelers. The Steelers saw that the Cowboys were coming up. They all knew they were going for the safety. They said, all right, well, we can call Mekhi Lemon and tell we're picking him. He's literally on the phone with them. Eagles make the trade, call him, say, we're taking you. They jumped Pittsburgh. So not only are the Flyers up 3-0 in a 7-game series, then Howie Roseman pulls the carpet literally out from underneath the Pittsburgh Steelers. Chef's kiss. I mean, come on, man. You can't write this stuff. Like, you really can't. There always seems to be something that Howie does, some sort of magical thing. Now, I don't know much about Mekhi Lemon. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, yeah, I watched Mekhi Lemon throughout college. I'm not going to tell you anything like that at all. Right now, Sixers update. Celtics 106 to Sixers are 100. So they're up 6 points with about 26 seconds left. It looks like a Sixers loss is incoming, but we'll keep our eye on the prize here. Only good thing is for the Phillies that Walker's gone. And of course, Zach Wheeler comes back tomorrow. But what does that mean? Zach Wheeler could pitch a gem, and it doesn't matter if the offense doesn't score. Am I right? And I don't expect a lot from Zach Wheeler. It's a lot to ask to Zach Wheeler to come back and act like Zach Wheeler in the majors. Like, it's a lot to ask after this. Is the phone lines going to be open tonight? Yes, I am going to open up the phone lines tonight, Joe Hale. That is the game plan. So we have a lot to cover tonight, and I want to get into all of it. I'm going to try to give you some information. Like I said, Mekhi Lemon, he is he's not a big guy in any sort of the matter, but he's explosive. He's athletic. He has the attitude on the field. Now, the attitude off the field has also been something that has been kind of sprinkling all over the place on Twitter. I'm trying to, get my handle on that and see what's going on. But Mekhi Lemon is the new wide receiver in the wide receiver room, the heavy wide receiver offense right now for your Philadelphia Eagles. Adding another weapon for Jalen Hurts to throw to. It's your number. Like I said, it cost both 4th-round picks to move up with the Dallas Cowboys, which was interesting alone. To jump up 3 points for 2 4th-round picks, not crazy. Probably a little higher than you would have paid anybody else not in your division. But if you wanted to do it and you wanted to leapfrog Pittsburgh, that's what you had to do. His first pick tonight, they took Eli Stowers, the tight end from Vanderbilt. Again, he picked 54th overall, recorded 769 yards and 4 touchdowns last season. He has a high upside, but there is some shining of this. And then during this time, the Eagles, during the second round, acquired Jonathan Grenard from the Vikings. They got Grenard and a 7th-round pick now because we didn't have one before. And we gave up our 3rd-round pick this year and 2027 3rd-round pick. People are like, I don't like that. A.J. Brown's gone, guys. I mean, at this point, I kind of have to feel it's going to happen. So you're going to get these picks back. So they already might have something in order. And there's even, Lemon is 5'11", not a big man at all. Shake up the lineup. What are you going to do? You could turn this lineup on its head. I don't know if it's going to make a difference. This team is just lost. It's hard to watch. I'm going to have to renegotiate my contract with Matty B on his birthday. Like, it's just horrible to watch, and it just keeps getting worse. Mays has just littered the bases. They pulled Harper off the bag at first. It was, it's just horrible to watch. But yeah, he's not a big guy. But let me tell you about my feelings on Grenard, and here's what it is. I believe. Let me tell you. I'll tell you right now. His contract is what they say. 4 years, $100 million extension that includes $50 million fully guaranteed. All right, so that's not terrible. $50 million over 4 years guaranteed. They can cut him, trade him, whatever. But my point is, I think for a couple more $1 million, you would have Milton Williams, and you wouldn't have to give up trade capital for him. And this guy had 12.5 sacks, I think, in 2024, but he was sidelined for a lot of last season because of his injury to his shoulder, had shoulder surgery or knee surgery or something like that. I would have preferred to keep Milton Williams and just paid his ass. You would have kept your picks. You wouldn't have to trade for him. So I don't know. That's kind of a head scratcher for me a little bit on that, and I just don't know what we're gonna get. And like I said, they took the offensive tackle Markel Bell at the number 68 point. That was the Jets pick at the point. So what they have left is they don't have anything in round 4, but round 5 they've won. Pick number 178 was one of their compensatory picks. Pick number 6, 197. Round 6, 197. It was the Atlanta pick, and then of course now they have the 7th round pick from Minnesota. So they still have about 4 picks left in the draft. Now we could see what happens. Howie does magical stuff. They could trade back up into the 4th round. They could do a lot of things. I don't know how much they want to do that. But are the Eagles, for the most part, for the first, 2 nights, are they done? I'd imagine they are. But let's talk about Eli Stowers for a second. 6'4", 239 pounds. He's got a grade 85. According, if you go to our It's a Wrap Sports Network, I'm looking at the card that Matty B put up. He's fast. He's strong. He's got agility. But he's got a little polishing to do. So it'll be interesting to see how, if he can truly be the successor, or is he another tight end that we just kind of blow through. But Markel Bell, 6'9", 350 pounds, big boy, big athletic boy, kind of can bulldoze people. Kind of gets, from what I'm reading here, kind of gets beat off. He can get beat off by more athletic defensive ends, so that he's going to have to work on that. And yes, I know I said that wrong. Don't quote me on what I just said. The only way we trade AJ is 3 first round and a top 10 wide receiver. Wait. The only way you trade AJ is for 3 first round. Listen. Whoa, Ian. Whoa. I like AJ Brown. You're not getting 3 first rounders picks. You're not giving up 3 first round picks for AJ Brown and a top 10 wide receiver. Maybe a first and a good player, or a first and a second, or a first and a third. That's what it's going to get. 2 first round picks at most. You're not getting 3 first round. Like, we got to be realistic here. Josh Allen will get you 3 first round picks. But one of the rumors that has kind of already started surfacing now. Now, listen, this is all rumors, and I don't know how much I believe it, but that the conspiracy theory is that the Patriots drafted Lemieux yesterday, and they don't need an OT just to include in their trade package for AJ. I'd be down with that, but I don't know how that works out. I really just don't see that happening. And the Sixers officially lost tonight, 108-100. Celtics were just banging threes at the end, and it just didn't pan out. So the gentleman's sweep is still in play, but got to give the Sixers credit. They are keeping up a fight. Does Joel Embiid make his way back? I don't know. Yes, we are in the last inning, but what a grueling thing to watch. I mean, I love baseball. I've watched bad baseball, and I haven't hated it as much as this team just sucking when they shouldn't suck. Yes, they lost by 8. Joe, to answer your question, yes, I will be opening up the lines at one point. Yes, and we drafted an OT, and that's what I'm saying. They started that rumor before they drafted them, but I wouldn't put it past them even if Lemieux is part of the draft process. But I think it's more rumors, Ian. I really do. Like, just being completely and utterly honest with you. But I'm just, I don't know how to listen. None of us know how to react to a draft day 1 or the day of it happening, or even year 1, year 2, or year 3, especially with wide receivers and skills players like that. Take them a year or so to get in the swing of things. Like I said, watching his interviews, reading all about him a little bit, seeing he was a little bit of a knucklehead, just a little bit. But it's on paper, got one of the top 3 wide receivers in the draft at number 20. Most people said there was probably like 10 to 15 range for him. But part of his attitude might be the reason he fell back. Some personality defects could be a reason he fell backwards. But time will tell on that one. So far, if anybody's noticed, I guess Miami now kind of a big school guy, but Vanderbilt and USC are not the typical NFL powerhouses that the Eagles would be choosing from at this point. But we'll see. We'll see if this plays out. There's a flurry of tight ends taken in this second day. But we have a 1-year deal with Dallas Goedert going down this year. So is it time, to see if we can move on from Dallas Goedert after this year? And it would be, in this offense, they would like to have 2 good tight end options with, 3 wide receivers on the field. Like they're going to want that. Like, you know what I mean? Like they're going to want that, or 2 wide receivers, a running back. It's going to be very interesting to see if these guys can play at their full potential, what Sean Mannion can do with them. Like I'm very interested. But my key facts in this will all be predicated on the offensive line. And I'm telling you, I think this is like the worst year to choose to switch away from. I know they didn't choose Stalin. Like I think couldn't have been at a worse time. I guess I should say, for the Eagles to lose him, and a guy who from the Vikings who has not much really any success to write home about is coming in and working with guys who've worked with Stalin for many years, including Lane Johnson. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out, and hopefully not a bad interesting. I hope I'm wrong. I really do. I hope I'm wrong about Grenard. I hope I'm wrong about the Stoutland theories. Hope I'm wrong about the Sixers, but I still think a gentleman sweep's in the play here. But who I feel very confident about is your Philadelphia Flyers. I really can't say how exciting it is to watch pure hockey, playoff hockey for the first time in a long time. That place was jumping. Let's just talk about that game. Let's just talk about the craziness, the embellishment call on Crosby, the 27 dudes in the penalty box at one time. I didn't like the tight end pick. I feel like it was kind of a small. Is kind of a small on the position. Kind of small for the position. Bruce, what's going on, buddy? Are the Phillies are losing again, and the sky is blue. Bruce Harper. Right now, for those it's the 9th inning, 2 outs, a man on first, and Garcia is up. So they need two runs just to tie the game. I'm not going to hold my breath. We will get into a Fightins final. To answer the question, I will open up the phone lines after the abridged Fightins final, so we can talk what you want to talk. It's going to be a very open forum tonight. We're going to talk Flyers. You can talk a little Sixers if you want to. We're going to talk the Eagles draft so far. And of course, if you want to even bring up the Phillies, go right ahead. I feel we get a new manager. We can't get rid of all our players. No, we can't. Hey, Garcia just hit the ball. Turner on to second. Garcia on first. 2 guys on. Go ahead run coming to the plate. And who is it? I'm trying to see who's coming up to the plate. Are they pulling anybody? It looks like they're not. Are they pinch hitting? I don't know what's going on here because they're not put up. No, looks like it's Marsh. It is Marsh. Okay. Yeah. No. Listen, I've said it before. I'll say it again. They lose this series. They're kind of backed into a corner. You have to fire the manager. I don't care if he won a World Series, 2 years, like in 2022. Like if he won that World Series, he has to go. You can't go on this tremendous low with this payroll and Kyle Schwarber and Bryce Harper, and the pitching staff that you just paid. You got like $100 million guys. You paid over $100 million to be here. You know what I mean? Zach Wheeler, Aaron Nola, Bryce Harper, Trey Turner. The list goes on and on. Jesus Luzardo. A lot of guys you paid a lot of money. You cannot have this going any forward. And getting swept at home by the Braves, they need a 4-game sweep of the Cubs, and now you're might be starting off with a loss. This will be the 10th, I think, the 10th loss in a row for them. You lose this out. You cannot keep him. Like he should resign at least. If they say, "Listen, we'll give you a little more time," if I'm him, like, no, this team needs a change for the betterment of the team. I need to go. There is something going on with this team. And you got to chop the head off off the dragon to kill it. Up, wild pitch or pass ball. I don't know what we want to call it. Runners on second and third. A well-placed single will tie this game up. Garcia doesn't have a ton of wheels. Al, I feel you're right. As if we don't make changes, we can only expect to continue to lose games. Like, to be honest with you, if they won, like, even if it wasn't like a close game like this and they just won outright tonight, say like 7-2, it would be an unbelievable moment, and I wouldn't even know how to react to it. I am ready to be angry. Like, that's what I am. I am ready to be angry. And not that if they won tonight, I'm like, oh, my anger goes away and the Phillies are back. And in no way do I feel that. But at this point, I wouldn't know how to act right now. Drew Alar is the QB for the Steelers. That's funny. And Marsh is just dribbles out to first. Boom. Game over. That is 10 in a row. Phillies lose 5-3 to the Atlanta Braves. This is the longest losing streak. God damn. It's pathetic. It is pathetic, guys. I don't know even what to think about this. Like, we're gonna get into it. I want to bring the draft up on my screen so we can. I keep my eye on it, make sure anything else. But Drew Allard, QB for the Penn State. I'm Penn State guy. I gotta bring him up. Drew Allard is one of the QBs for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and if he plays well, it could be good for them. So he gets to stay in PA. Good for him. Yep, Joe Hal, Phillies lost and the sky is blue. I never see you get angry, so I feel it'd be really bad how we are playing to get you mad. No, I get angry, Bruce. I get angry, but I do self-control myself a little bit. I'm not going to just start screaming nonsense and just trying to clickbait people. Just rage bait, I guess, in that sense. But this team, it's literally it's pathetic and it's angering. So with that being said, and let's shift that gear over real quick and to the Fightins final. Give me 1 second here. Change it up. Here we go. Let's bring it on. All right, guys, here is your Bridge Fightins finals. Guys, finally, the Phillies suck. I mean, not finally. No, they sucked. It's final, though. They sucked even more. 10-game losing streak, 5-3. Phillies are now 8-18 on the season, fall to 5th in the NL East. The Braves are 9-18. It is almost a flip-flop for win-loss. 19-8. It is almost a flip-flop win-loss column for your Phillies and Braves. I mean, we always say you can't win the division in April, but you sure as shit can lose it. And it looks like they're losing it. Like, we are to a point that I know they say, hey, we wait to game 50, 40, 50 to make a decision. You cannot wait any longer. Like, he really should be fired tonight, but they ain't going to do it in the middle of the series. But it's just it doubles the salt in the wound because it's the Braves now, and the Braves already have this lead in the East. And by the time they get done, so they'll be 21-8, most likely, because I don't see them winning a game. I honestly cannot fathom them winning another game this year. It is a horrible. This team cannot hit in the clutch moment. None of them, not just Bryce Harper, but none of them can hit in the clutch moment. And then the minute they start hitting a little bit, take a lead, what happens? The pitching lets us down. It is continuing to happen. This team, they are afraid. They have fear coursing through their veins right now. They are a laughing stock of Major League Baseball, and nobody is going to take them serious. And the only way you can make a change where the change could be an effective moment for the Philadelphia Phillies is to fire Rob Thompson. And you know me. Just like Bruce said, I am not typically a guy who's just going to get angry for the sake of being angry or to rage bait. That is not my forte. I want to call it for what it is. I don't like blaming coaches all the time for the way players play. But when the players play this bad, something has to change. And it's not just a couple games. It's not just this year, but it's exemplary this year. It is glowing this year. The Phillies are a disjointed team. They have talent on this team. They just paid Kyle Schwarber a lot of money to stick here for 5 more years. We might be screwed. I really didn't want the Kyle Schwarber contract because I didn't think it was going to be this bad, but I didn't know how they were going to start, and it is bad. It is bad. We can't sit there. Let's wait to June, because if this continues to June, we might win 5 games between now and June. We're done by June. We are out of it almost mathematically by June if this continues. Monday's a day off. It has to happen. If it does not happen, I would tell everybody, do not buy another Phillies piece of merchandise. Do not even turn on another Phillies game. Do not even buy another ticket. I don't care if somebody gives you a ticket for free, gives you free parking and money to go buy hot dogs in the stands. Do not do it if it doesn't happen. It would be a gross mismanagement of the ownership, a gross mismanagement of Dombrowski. Now, listen, I put a lot of blame on Dombrowski for this, but if you fire Dombrowski tomorrow, it does nothing for this team. There's no juice in this team. The only way you could juice this team up with a firing is by cutting the head off the snake, and the snake is Rob freaking Thompson. And it's a shame, because I don't dislike Rob Thompson, but when things are this bad, you have to take ownership of it. And it starts from the head down. It starts from the top down. And you can't. It is a gross mismanagement if you allow him to stay here. And like I said, if they don't even make the move, Rob Thompson needs to be smart and go, I need to walk away. Put somebody else in front. Let them handle it. This is horrible. Right now, the other 3 teams got the city juiced. The Eagles got the city juiced with the draft so far. The Flyers, of course, 3-0 up against the Penguins, got the city way juiced. They lost tonight to Sixers, but they're putting up a fight, giving some Sixers fans hope. I can't say I have a ton of hope. I'm still feeling a gentleman's sweep. But they're making it interesting. I thought it would be more of a butchering. I really thought that the Sixers were going to lose by a lot more of this. I thought there was going to be no way in hell they were going to be close. Bruce is saying, Matty B gets mad a lot, but he is still nice. Now, listen, there's a difference between nice and getting mad. They're 2 different things. You can get angry because you expect a lot. We expect a lot of our teams. We spend a lot of money, a lot of our time. If I went, I'd probably be nauseated if I went back and somebody tracked the stat of how much baseball I've sat and watched, either in the stadiums, at home, covering the games, whatever it is. How much time? It's got to be a year of my life in total. It's crazy. Alfred's season is over. Season never begun in my eyes, Alfred. Season never begun. This team's still in Clearwater somewhere, trying to find their keys. I don't know what it is. Team is elephant. I mean, from your lips to God's ears, right? Almost as bad as Ridley Scott's Napoleon. For those who don't know, they know. No, it's bad. Al Wheeler's starting tomorrow, so he could probably win if he is as good as he used to be before the operation. Even if he is better than he was before the operation, you need to score runs. And it's here. Pat McAfee is up on the stage again for the Colts. What a joke. You see him trying to make fun of the Flyers? He's a goof. I'm not a fan. I mean, I don't hate him, but I'm not a fan either. Who will they hire to manage these bums? Any manager that takes the job, integrity would be in question. No, I mean, it would actually just show that it's the team, and major changes would have to occur. But somebody's going to take the job. Somebody's going to take the job, Alfred. I mean, come on, baseball. People want to take the job. it's bad. The Phillies should relocate. It's getting to that point. The Charlotte Phillies. Yeah, there you go. Well, no, it'd be maybe Dombrowski because he was trying to get a team in Tennessee. The Tennessee Phillies. Yeah. Just fire the buffoon manager. Yeah, Mike. Again, nobody's disagreeing. There's no argument here. No argument on that. Anyone call him a buffoon, an idiot, moron, whatever. Just fire. It has to happen at this point. Even if you're Rob Thompson himself, or if you're Rob Thompson's wife, or his son, daughter, whatever, best friend, even you have to say, Rob, dude, walk away. Walk away. Nothing good is coming out of this. And the only way you can put any shock or jolt through the system of this team is by you leaving. Because I honestly, if I'm him, if I want to keep my job, at the beginning, before this game starts, I'm on my knees in the middle of the locker room. Guys, please, for the love of God, you're playing for my job. Maybe he doesn't care. I don't know. We need to make some trades. Are you talking about baseball? Also, fired Dombrowski for saying the Phillies have no number 4 cleanup hitter. Well, it's his fault, and we do. His name's Kyle freaking Schwarber. I don't want to hear that. He is our number 4 guy. He should be our number 4 guy. At this point, what do you have to lose? Just put him in at the 4 spot. You can't lose any more than you're losing. So at this point, you've hit bottom. Hello, Brock, meet bottom. Make the change. Like, I don't get at this point, you have nothing to lose. Bat him 8th, bat him 9th. Who cares? Like, really? Bring Dusty Baker or Bruce Bochy as next manager. Again, anybody. I don't know what you're laughing at. Maybe it's my rant or whatever. But hey, guys, here it is. You ready? Trey Turner was 1 for 3 tonight with 1 run and 2 RBIs. He had that big 2-run home run to give the Phillies the lead. 2 walks and a strikeout. Schwarber was 0 for 4 with 1 strikeout, with 1 walk and 2 strikeouts. Harper was 1 for 5 tonight with 1 run scored, 1 RBI because he had a home run as well, and 2 strikeouts. Garcia was 3 for 5 tonight, so it's kind of nice to see him start hitting a little bit more lately. But nobody's on base. It's not going to help too much. Marsh is 1 for 5 tonight. Stott is 1 for 4 tonight. Bohm was 1 for 3 tonight with a walk. Crawford was an 0 for tonight. And Stubbs, decent night tonight, 2 for 4, 1 run scored. In 37 at-bats, 3 runs were scored off of 10 hits, 3 RBIs, like I said, 4 walks, and 5 strikeouts. Well, they're not striking out because they're hitting weak sauce balls out, and like the way that game ended with Brandon Marsh was like that's the demanding part. They're not even smoking balls, and it's just getting caught, or guys are making big plays. Like that happened a little bit in the Cubby series. So you're like, maybe a little bad luck. No, we're past bad luck. Unless they believe in it and they're believing their own juju that's out there. I don't know. I don't. It's ridiculous. I'm telling you, the Braves, like any team that's playing the Phillies right now, it's got to feel kind of like a exhibition series. Like we don't have to take it serious. We'll win because the Phillies will lose it. Even if we give them the chance to win it, they'll learn to lose it. Because if the pitching doesn't show up, the bats will show up. The bats won't show up. The pitching won't show up. It's like whatever. It is horrible. Painter had a decent start tonight, but then it all fell apart. He went 5 2/3 inning, 9 hits allowed, 5 runs all earned, 2 walks, a strikeout, and a home run allowed. Kyle Backus, however you say it, he went one inning tonight with a bunch of donuts. Shugart, same thing with 1/3 of an inning. Meza was 1 inning, 1 hit allowed, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. So the bullpen kind of did their job tonight. It was Painter who kind of fell apart towards the end. 8 innings, 10 hits allowed, 5 runs earned, 3 walks, only 2 strikeouts, and a home run let up. They got a little bit from the starting pitching, Holmes, but the bullpen did their job for the Braves. Like I said, the only bright side is Taijuan Walker's out, but he was an automatic loss, but they all are. Who isn't? How about Justin Crawford, the next Tony Gwynn, and we have Andrew Painter next, Nolan Ryan, you mean? Well, I don't know about that. We'll find out. On the bright side, a lot of money will come off the books next year. Oh, yeah, you're not going to pay Taiwan Walker because you're paying him $15 million. You're paying $35 million this year. Let me just throw that out there. You're paying $35 million to guys this year who aren't even on the goddamn team. Just let that settle in for a second. Yeah, so that $35 million comes off the books. Bohm is off. He's not getting paid anymore because he's probably gone. If he gets another job, I wouldn't be surprised because they can't afford anybody else that they bring him back. I wouldn't be surprised, especially if Dombrowski's still around. But that is your stat line for the night, your book on the night, whatever you want to call it. So let's take a quick trip around the bases. All right, around the bases for those who are new to the show, we're going to take a look around the league and see how real baseball is played, right? Washington is up, down 5-4 to the White Sox, top of the ninth right now. Bottom of the eighth, Kansas City Royals are up 6-3 on the Los Angeles Angels. Bottom of the eighth, the A's are 6-1 right now against the Rangers. They're in a delay right now, but Detroit is winning 5-3 in Cincinnati. Top of the seventh, the Yankees are up 9-2 over Houston. Top of the seventh as well. Seattle's up 3-2 to St. Louis in St. Louis. Warming up right now. Chicago Cubs are in Los Angeles right now, getting ready to go for the late night game. For those who have Apple TV and watch the game tonight, you can watch another game. Maybe watch some real baseball if you want to. Also warming up right now. Miami's in San Fran. Final on the night. Boston loses 10-3 to Baltimore. Cleveland beat Toronto 8-2. Colorado beat New York 4-3. They're back on their losing streak after breaking it finally. Minnesota lost 6-2 to Tampa Bay. As we know, the not so fighting Phils lost 5-3, and through 7 innings or 6 full innings or 7 innings, I forget what it was. Paul Skeens had a no hitter going. But they ended up winning anyway, but he didn't finish it up. They are 15-11. They're 6-0 over Milwaukee this night. We are going, as those can see, I have put the link in. I'm going to be opening up the phone lines because we are going to transition out. The Broad Street bottom line is the bottom line. They suck and something has to happen. I'm not changing it. It's the same goddamn bottom line that I've had for the last few games. Something has to change, and we all know what that has to be. So let's transition back over to the Philly Friday Frenzy here. Of course, I'm Big Al. Talking, it is truly a frenzy tonight. So we're going to be talking all about that. I'm also going to bring up the NFL Draft Tracker, just so if you guys have any questions, I can pull up this in real time. Let's hold on one second. Brown, sorry. Come on. They are on. The Vikings are on there. Okay. So, all right. So I am going to. Oh, he was not on the line. Where'd he go? Somebody was on the line. All right. Well, guys, the comments section has a link either on YouTube or Facebook. Click the link. Come on. You can keep the camera on or keep the camera off, whatever it is you feel ever so you want to do. And give you a chance to either vent about the Phillies or talk about the draft, talk about the Flyers' success, what you thought about the Sixers tonight. All that stuff's on the board. And speaking, I knew he'd be chomping at the bit to get here. Mikey P, what do you got for me?
Yo, what up, Al? How you doing, man? Having a good night. Well, let me just get this out there.
I mean, you did not watch the film.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna get to that. It's funny. I've been calling for this guy's head for years for all the bumbling fool moves he made, the non-moves he didn't make. Now everybody wants his head.
Listen, I am not going to sit there and say that he was fired in 2022. Maybe after 2023, definitely 2024 after that pathetic show, and then last year. I will agree with you. Listen. The one thing I like to do, and I kind of pride myself on, is that when I'm wrong, I will admit when I'm wrong. And then when I feel like I'm right, but I hope to be wrong, I'll tell you. Like I hope the Sixers beat the Celtics, but I know that a gentleman's sweeps is coming down, right? So the phone lines are blowing up right now. For those in the waiting room, I'm gonna take Mike. Joe, you're next, and then Ian, you'll be right after him. So guys, please, I know we have a lot to talk about tonight, but Mike, what do you got for me, bud?
Yeah, I want to talk Sixers. I watched some of that game. Do you know they looked exciting? They looked young. It's the first time I see them in the playoffs. This first game, but they're playing with some heart.
Listen,
I mean, they are
to tie the series up 1-1.
Yeah.
I honestly thought this game was going to be a blowout. Like I'm going to be dead again. I'll admit when I'm wrong. I literally thought, and I'm on the record saying this, I said it earlier today to a bunch of people, that I almost was going to bet the game and take whatever for the Sixers losing. You know what I mean? Like I was going to take the Sixers.
Yeah.
Losing. I really thought they were going to get. Like, they looked past them in the other game. You know what I mean? But they're putting up in the youth, kind of like a little bit like is helping kind of keep the other team on their heels. I still think it's a gentleman's sweep. But let me ask you this question. Does Joel Embiid healthy on this team, does it make a difference for them?
Yeah, he'll always make a difference when he's healthy. You know what I mean? As long as his head in the game.
Do they win tonight if Joel Embiid's on the court?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I think you still use Drummond and Bowen in that game with Embiid. Mm-hmm. I would still use them to give them the breaks because they all bring something different, and I think that would help out because who's their center? Vukovic and the Qatar or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
That's
Listen,
their centers.
The Celtics kind of went into sell mode a little bit because I don't think they expected at all to have what they have. I don't think they expected Tatum to come back. I didn't think they expected to do much of anything. I think they thought this was kind of a past year after winning last year and the injury at the end of the season to Tatum. You know what I mean? I think they kind of went into sell mode, and now they're like, oh, wait, number 2. Okay. All right, let's see how this plays out.
Yeah, but they still got decent players on that team, whether they were on sell mode or not. I mean, they're still.
Don't get me wrong. I'm 100%. I honestly thought the Celtics were going to just manhandle us. Like, to be honest, I would have been surprised if a sweep. I was giving them the graciousness of a gentleman's sweep.
What it is I'm watching like Edgecombe. Now he had a bad game tonight. Maxey, Bona. I'm just going down to young guys. Them guys are like, I mean, you could tell, like that's what you need. You need that enthusiasm out there. Whether they win the series or not, this is good for them, for them young guys. Because Embiid's got to go and Paul George has got to go. They're going to be gone. They got to go after this season. And you got a good nucleus here. I think. Here's the deal.
I think Paul George can stay if he's willing to take his role. I think he'd be more a little bit like kind of like a Tobias Harris situation with him. Is that he's gonna be overpaid he's gonna be overpaid for what he's doing. But if he could be that 3-and-D guy that they need, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't be.
You're not gonna be able to unload Embiid and his contract. Like, I mean, Daryl Morey's he might be decent when it comes to his job, but he ain't that good.
You might, you never know. I mean, but just remember, it wasn't like a knee injury, back injury. It was appendix, so it wasn't one of the injuries that normally happens. So somebody might say, okay, he was healthy for the playoffs. It just happened to be his stomach, the appendix area. That was it.
Well, and I get that, but it's not. It's just it doesn't matter what it is. It could be an ingrown toenail, and it's. He's got Murphy's Law when it comes to the late season and playoffs. I think we should call it Embiid's Law. Like, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. Like, and I get why people wouldn't want to. Maybe a change of scenery would be good for Murphy's Law with him. I don't know. All right, let's real quick. Because I want to be able to get the other guys on. Let me ask you a question. Flyers. I don't really. Okay, I got to eat crow. I said they wouldn't be
to 2029, 2030. I really don't. I'm a Flyers fan. I don't really watch them much after when they changed the rules. You can't hit, you can't do this, you can't do that. It became more European. I really didn't watch it much.
Sure.
So, like, I'm watching because
they
I'm
changed the
you know,
rules
I
of the
grew.
playoffs because apparently it's like 1990s hockey right now. 27 dudes in the in the penalty box. They finally, after 20 years, call embellishment on Sidney the Kid Crosby, not such a kid anymore, Crosby.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. This is how. But they're playing with house money. Nothing to lose, everything to gain. That's house money. That's what they're doing. Nobody expected. If I want somebody to put their hand up. Anybody tell me think the Flyers are going to make the playoffs this year? I guarantee.
They won
95%.
January. They had like a 6.8% chance. It was like or a 3%. Like they have T-shirts made up of it. That's how much of a percent chance that they had at one point of making the playoffs.
That's what I'm getting at. So this is the best thing, and you know what? This is the best thing happening because they got all that money this offseason. They might still have to overpay for a big free agent to come in, but I think they can get somebody now. I think players are going to look and go, man, Tocchet. That's what they needed. They needed somebody like. It's funny they couldn't handle Tortorella, but this guy. Tocchet ain't really much different than him in the sense he's a little bit, but he's in your face still and all that stuff.
Well,
and he calls out players and he calls out Michkov every time Michkov every time he gets a chance.
He does, but there's a difference between being in your face and holding you accountable when it's just that it's like a dog that barks constantly. When it barks, you don't get scared. You know what I mean? Like it's just like all right, dude. Like, what else can you do? Can you develop these young guys? And I think that's like Tocchet can talk the talk a little bit, and I think that's the difference between him and the old school way. I mean, it's not like you said. Hockey isn't the same way anymore. There's like right now, even though the Penguins are acting like goons because they're too old to act like the youngsters, you know.
No, but I'm saying, but here's the thing: Tocchet's not really old. He's old school too.
Yeah,
he's from the '80s, so he knows what what it takes to win.
I'm saying, but he understands this.
Oh, okay.
I don't think Tocchet. Right. I don't think of Tortorella understood that generation. But before I let you go, one last question because I'm going to go.
Okay. Yeah. So
far, what you've seen in the draft, first 2 nights. Give me a grade, your initial gut instinct grade, and why.
Okay, I'm going to go A. Here's my reason. Because if they decide not to trade, or they can't trade A.J. Brown, they got a slot receiver.
Yeah.
And that guy at tight end, Stowers, whatever, he's 6'3", 240. He's basically he can play a little tight end.
He's another wide receiver.
Hybrid.
He's not. It's the blocking scheme with him. I just worry we need a better blocking tight end, but we'll see. We'll see on that one.
What's going to come down to is this, and I was just hearing this the other day. They're going to run a West Coast offense with Jalen doing 3-step drops. That's what it's going to come down to. Is all in Jalen, not nothing else. Just Jalen. Can he do it? I don't know. But I'll let Joe get on. Al, you have a good night. And I hope Robbie's fired when I wake up in the morning.
I hope Sunday morning me and you are popping a little champagne, mixing with our orange juice, make some mimosas.
I'm popping some drinks now. So,
all right, enjoy.
Hey, you have a good night.
All right. So we're going to transition from one great guy to another great guy. I got 3 great guys. So we started with one down. We're on to Joe. Joe, Al, what's going on, brother?
How are you?
You know what, man? I'm all juiced up. I'll be honest with you. I'll be completely honest. I was up very early today. My cats woke me up, and then after that, I couldn't go back to sleep. Like 5 o'clock in the morning, and I really thought I was going to have no juice this evening. But the draft always gets me juiced. The Flyers, of course. The Sixers giving me a little something worth watching at least, and then the anger of the Phillies. That also probably is feeding the monster a little bit. But Joe, let's talk because like I said, I have Ian on the line as well. But I want to talk to you about a couple things. real quick, your thoughts. Let's talk Flyers.
I love it. I'm actually going tomorrow
Yeah.
night.
You did. You did. Did you go on Wednesday or no?
Yes.
You went on Wednesday. Okay, so you're going on Saturday now. You don't have to tell me, but give me a range of how much these tickets are going for now.
300.
Is it a little less this game because people kind of feel like it's the season?
More.
It's more.
Yeah.
I thought maybe people would be like, "Oh, I want to save my money for the next round."
I got an email from them today. You're allowed to bring your broom into the stadium.
That seems like a terrible idea.
Wait, well, no, it's not a sweep. So I want to get to the banner. You heard about somebody put up a banner outside, right?
The embellishment banner with
that.
Huh?
My buddy's the one that chipped in for it.
He chipped in for it? That's amazing. That's why I love this town. That's one thing I love about this town. They have no problem. Dude, listen, I love how they're trying to make us the villain in Pittsburgh.
It's Pittsburgh.
And then they're chanting F the Flyers at the draft and then they steal the Steelers pick right there, like right out from underneath them, including the Steelers are in right now. They're up making their pick in the third or fourth round. I'm sorry. Yeah, the third round. So, right now the Pittsburgh is just in Philly. It's like the old rivalry is coming back.
Yes. So stay on that topic, NFL draft.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. A+.
A+. What? All right. What was your favorite pick so far, or even move? You could talk about the Grenard move and all that stuff. What was your favorite move in the draft so far?
The Grenard move.
Tell me why.
Reminds me of a Jason Phillips that we just lost.
A Jalen Phillips. Okay. I'm hesitant. I'm going to tell you why. And again, this is where I hope to be wrong, right? This is where I hope to be wrong. I like Milton Williams. I was a very big Milton Williams fan. You just paid this guy $25 million a year. Milton Williams got what, 27?
Yes.
Okay, so it's $2 more million a year, and you would still have your draft capital.
Wait. Milton Williams, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's a good player, but I believe where'd he go to? New England.
New England
overpaid for him.
They paid $2 more million a year for him,
but the Eagles went with the youth.
But hold on, let me do this. Let's do this because I really want to. Milton Williams. Let's see. I forget how old he is. He is 27. Milton's 27. And Grenard is 1 second, sorry.
Like same age.
He's 28. He's 28.
So basically,
and here's the thing is Grenard had a really good 2024. He had like 12 and a half sacks. But in 2025 he was injured. He ended up having surgery, didn't he?
Yes.
So
he's playing.
We gotta hope he comes back to form.
He's playing.
But I'm saying, like, you could have kept Milton Williams, paid him a couple more million a year. You would still have your third round, your third round pick from this year and one next year.
So the pick they gave up for him is with a comp pick, apparently.
Yeah, compensatory pick. Yeah, you're right, but it's still a pick you would have. And this team needs to get cheaper. Like that's my thing is like this team needs to get cheaper. Now I know $50 million is guaranteed. I'm hoping to be wrong. But Milton Williams is still playing at a very high level. He's a year younger. It would only cost you a couple more $1 million. You know he can play in the system. I don't know if Grenard can play in the system. I don't know if he can come back to the way he was before he got injured. Time will tell.
I think they did that, Grenard. Mm-hmm. Vic Fangio wanted players. That's all it comes down to.
But Williams could have been that player. That's like that. This is my point. Like, it's just you would have been able to keep your picks. You would, in my eyes, get maybe as good or better player in Milton Williams, and you would only cost you a couple more $1 million a year than you're currently paying. And you know the beast that you have that can play alongside with Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis and all that stuff.
Speaking of the Patriots, they're going to get. They're losing picks, right?
Are they?
With the with the Vrabel thing and that girl
next year, or are they losing because this draft is underway? I don't know what else unless they're going to take some later round picks from them
next year.
Next year,
Yeah, because of what happened with that ESPN girl.
Listen, that's getting crazier. It's getting absolute crazier. Like, normally I don't care about the scandally bullshit, but I mean, 6 years, and she was a big reason the AJ Brown stuff was going around and all that stuff. You know, that's like insider trading.
I think AJ Brown gets traded, but not to New England.
Yeah, where you
Buff-
sending them?
Buffalo.
You send them to Buffalo, huh? That would be huge for
The
Josh
Eagles.
Allen.
The Eagles point because Buffalo's going into a new stadium.
Okay.
The Eagles are like trying to get younger, but Buffalo has talent. Buffalo has edge rushers. They have tight ends. They have corners that the Eagles can get and draft picks. Buffalo has a lot of draft picks too.
All right, listen. I kind of hope it's not New England now because of all the bull. New England's already kind of counted them in their team. Like most Patriots fans are ready to go out and buy an AJ Brown jersey. So
And
I kind of hope, just kind of out of spite, it's not New England.
you asked Kaepernick if the Sixers would be better without Embiid.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You say yes?
Yes.
Why is that?
You build around the future of VJ and Maxey.
I'm just saying tonight, this game, this series. I'm not saying into next year or anything. I'm just saying, I mean, you have to think the team would be better technically, but is it allowing the young guys play better than kind of hoping Joel Embiid can play like Joel Embiid and not get hurt?
No, I think Embiid's injury prone right now.
Oh, well, it's not even just injury prone. It's ridiculous injuries, like outlandish injuries. I'm trying to get my camera to focus here. Sorry. But we talked Flyers. We talked draft.
Can we shout out a happy birthday, Maddie B?
Yeah, absolutely. You want to throw one out there? I shout it out. Maddie B, happy birthday. Happy 146th birthday, Maddie B.
He's always watching. He never sleeps.
He never sleeps. He's always waiting for me to say something wrong, so he could jump on me later about it. You know, and I think we say his name enough, he might hear the coffin start to creak open a little bit there.
You guys are great.
Listen, Matty B is a good friend of mine. I've actually became friends with him via doing this stuff with him. Like when I started Edge of Philly Sports many years ago, Matty B was one of my first findings, and he found me. To be honest with you, he reached out to me. So, and you know what? Even though Matty B and I don't always see eye to eye, that's why I think I'm such good friends with him, because I want to like be able to. All my friends are willing to tell me when I'm wrong, and I'm willing to tell them when they're wrong, and that's kind of why I'm good friends with him. And I hope he's having a good night. I hope if he's at home and he's watching sports because he wants to relax and watch sports, but I really hope he's having a good birthday, because the man deserves it, because he is a beast. He does 99% of all this stuff is him. He's doing it with a lot less help than I got. You know, Matty B was a big help for me at EOP. You know, I got to point that out. He helped out. He brought his idea was, I could still remember the Titans final. I could still remember when he brought that to my attention. He goes, I want to do a Phillies post game and a Flyers post game and blah, blah, blah. And when he said the Phillies one, I said, are you sure? That's a lot. That's every night almost for 162 games. And he goes, I want to do it. He started doing it, and he did it almost solely all the way up to like at least the All-Star break. Could have been longer. And I said, let me step in and help you, man. And then I kind of got on board, and Sal got on board, and Mike Laro and Pat Bernard. We had a couple other guys too for a short time. But at one point we had, enough guys to cover one night of baseball a week, which was good because you weren't getting overwhelmed. Now it's like, that's why I'm giving him a lot of credit. So big old happy birthday wish to our boy, Matty B.
So I usually ask this on Sundays. What's for dinner this weekend?
So this weekend, I am actually going to break out the smoker. And I'm going to smoke a ham.
Okay.
And let me tell you something. Game changer. Absolute game changer, Joe. It's like candy bacon. Did I lose you, Joe? I think I lost him. Hold on, one more time. All right,
Yeah,
sorry, Joe.
it's the
Yeah,
internet.
yeah, that's all right. Well, give me your final your final word here because I want to bring Ian on in a second.
3-1 Carolina Hurricanes. Yo, shout out to Kaepernick.
Oh yeah, always a shout out to Pat.
And shout out to the rest of you guys. I will talk to you I'll talk to you tomorrow. Clayton's final.
All right, brother. Yeah,
Hey,
tomorrow for those
fly for the
you
Flyers.
got a lot of me this weekend. So you got this, you got tomorrow, and you got Sunday morning. So
Fly
get
from
your off.
Live from the Flyers. How's that?
There you go. All right, brother. Yeah, shoot out a message from there. Let me know how it is. Send me some pics.
I will.
All right. Take it easy, bud.
Yep.
Kenneth is saying the Phillies are worse than bad. They have been hit by an ancient Chinese curse. It's getting to that like 80s movie kind of craziness. But speaking of another great guy, friend I've known for many years who's followed me throughout many different programming changes, my boy Ian. What's going on,
Al,
Ian?
let me restart you. My side cut off awkwardly. My side just cut off awkwardly, so I'm going to try to restart and get back into you.
All right. All right. So Ian will pop on in a second. But the Eagles have traded 2 third-round picks for the Vikings, Renard, in 2026. Yes. For those maybe who are just seeing this. And they only have, I'm trying to see how many more picks are left in the 7th round right now. They're on 28, 26, 27. I'm sorry, number 90. They're on number 90 right now. And so there's only 10 more picks left. I don't know if the Eagles slip back in somehow, make a trade. We'll find out. But it looks like he's back. Ian, I'm going to hit the button here. Ian, are you ready to go?
Yep, I'm ready to go. How about
right.
them damn Flyers?
Dude, Ian, I know you're a big Flyers fan. I mean, we've talked how much times we've talked hockey throughout the years. Listen, man. I've told you this many times in the past. There's just nothing like Flyers Flyers in the playoffs in Philadelphia. I mean, I said, remember when they were talking about the Phillies in 2022, like the Richter scale was going off from all the noise from the stadium. Well, put that inside a roofed building, and that's what you got. Like, you come out with your ears ringing, you have some super eardrums. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And then you got Gritty. He's going full berserk, saying, "I'm going to be your worst nightmare, internet."
Yeah, I love how they play right into him. But the couple things, like I love how people are getting, like, a guy that I really respect a lot in this business, Brandy Lee Gouton. He Bleeding Green Nation, for those who don't know, he started it from nothing years ago. He was like the pioneer of what we're doing here. One of the nicest guys in the world, by the way. He knows his football. Like, he's the kind of guy that I will read and I will analyze because he knows his football. But he was actually at the game and somebody snapped a picture somehow of him like yelling at Crosby to get in the penalty box, and he goes, "You can't say I'm not a nice guy. Here I am helping the elderly gentleman to his seat." It's just like, that's the kind of like internet trolling I'm loving, to the point that it's just, like I said, like the Flyers posted yesterday, room for one more. They had like all the guys in the penalty box after the score to give them the lead there. And Porter Martone, man, like, talk about an exciting kid, and like, guy just knows how to win. Like, that's what I feel like the Flyers have always been missing over the years, is a guy who knows where to be and how to win.
Also, that we haven't had any real shooters, because we've always had passer, some playmakers, but no one actually truly wants to shoot. And the kid loves to shoot because he understands the basic universal rule in all sports: shoot the damn puck, / ball in this case, because it helps. Because something's gotta happen. Either it's going to bounce off the post, it's going to bounce off the goaltender. Something's bound to happen, and you can collect on the ugly goals. And granted, it's never pretty, but it always stinking works. And I'm relieved that it's the Pittsburgh Penguins, and their dynasty's over. Because I was doing some digging on their side. They might be ended up trading.
Oh, and I lose you. Ian, you still there, bud? All right, looks like I lost Ian. I'll give him a second, bring him back in. But listen. This is a true Philly Friday frenzy because what do you talk? What do you talk about? Where do you start? I should say. You got the draft going on, a lot of moves, trades. Um, they brought in players, they brought in they brought drafted players. The Flyers are just flying. The Sixers, giving people something to cheer for, and the Phillies, whatever. Ian, you back?
Yep, I'm back. I had no clue what happened there, but
Not a problem.
Well, I'm looking at the Penguins side. Like, they don't want to play because they're getting hit like 45 times a game. They're like, they quit. They have sentimentally quit out compared to this Flyers team who's younger, fresher, and quote Jason Kelsey, hungry dogs run faster, and they're definitely probably the hungriest team in this entire playoffs. Like, I'm looking at all the analysts saying, "Oh, it's a cute little story. They're just going to get bounced." And no, I think this team can actually make a deep run. This team can seriously make a deep run, and it's going to
listen. I know a lot of people got, and I could see why they got like the St. Louis Blues 2018 feeling, team that got hot at the right time, a goalie that got hot at the right time, and they made a run and they won. I can see why people feel like that right now. I'm kind of pump my brakes on that. Let's get
don't forget the COVID year as well. When we were supposed that year was the Flyers were super hot because they only lost like one game within a 15 period, which was the Bruins, and then they had a cupcake schedule, so they're going to have like 20, 25 wins, and then probably would have cruised to the playoffs. Like the Flyers hit this moment of being perfectly hot. And I'm actually glad to see this. And also, Rick Tocchet's making adjustments. It's like, especially this time late in the year, coaches don't make adjustments. They stick to their grounds. Like you're seeing with the Penguins, they're not really making any adjustments. Like you got the coach from South Park here. And I'm like, oh my God, that's such a perfect name because he looks like him not making adjustments. And like I said earlier, the Pittsburgh Penguins has quit. This might be the last year we see Crosby in the playoffs of the Pittsburgh Penguin because his contract is up next year. He might retire. So they might just send him up to the West Coast because I don't think they're going to send him to the Canadians.
Sure.
So that's going to be a logic. And they're going to be in a rebuild. They're going to be in a rebuild for the next 3 to 4 or 5 years because they have 10 players they got to re-sign with $60 million in cap. So that means they're going to let some players go and bring some guys up, and then probably see trading some away.
Listen, man, they're going to make moves. They're going to. You there?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I don't know if something
And
changed.
then
it sounded like
when you look on the Eagles side.
Sorry, real quick. Just kind of talk about the Flyers for a second. Yeah, it's kind of like with Joe. Well, I can hear you, Ian. Can you hear me? All right. Looks like I lost you for a second. I don't want to. I'm going to say something by accident. But Ian, I'm going to let you go, Ian, because we're going to kind of start wrapping the show up anyway. But thank you for calling in. But like, just to talk about the Flyers, like what an exciting! Like, I can't wait for tomorrow. Like, I couldn't wait for Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday, whatever day it fell on. Like, I couldn't wait for the Flyers right now to play again. Nobody's felt like that about the Flyers in a very long time. I don't care if you're the biggest Flyers fan. You weren't sitting there waiting for it to come on. Like, that wasn't. The feeling you got in this team has gotten you. Now Vladar is kind of a game time decision with the hand injury. So Sam Harrison might get this game 4 start, so we'll find out. The Flyers are just 1 win away from moving on. They're with history on their side, and when they're 3-0, only 4 teams in the NHL have ever come back from a 3-0 deficit. One being the 2010 Flyers against the Boston Bruins. We all remember that. It was a good time. That was the last time they went to the Cup, but of course didn't win. The Vladar thing's a big thing, but got to keep our eye on it. But the Eagles draft, man, I want to touch on this before we go. Wide receiver room is heavy. They brought in a guy who could be a difference maker. I do worry a little bit about attitude issues and personality issues, but we'll find out how that plays out. But I mean, overall, again, it's so hard to judge a team based on a draft because you don't know what these guys are going to be. But Makai Lemon, wide receiver, did not see that coming. To be honest with you, did not see that coming. Okay, thanks, Ian. B+ on the draft. Okay, again, no offense, it doesn't mean anything because none of us really know. But they got Eli Stowers for tight end, who I think is a good pick. I really do. They weren't going to go get Kenan Sadiq, and Markel Bell. He's a big boy. He's got talent. He's got a little over-exaggerated drag step. That's kind of the big thing I've been reading about him. So we'll see if they can, coach that up a little bit. But he's coachable. So we'll see. Without Statland, is that going to be a difference? Because I'm really going to tell you, if they lose this season, even though they have all these pieces together, it's going to fall on that offensive line and if it being well prepared. So hopefully I'm wrong. But I mean, I knew Statland sooner or later would have to move on, but right now, I don't know. And as well as the Grenard pick, I know most people are very high on picking him. And I'm not saying he's not a good player and he can't be a difference maker. It really is. It just really didn't make a lot of sense to me when I think you could have kept Milton Williams, paid him a couple extra bucks, and not had to give up draft capital to do so, and you would have had another pick. You could have another young money-saving pick. But with that being said, guys, I'm going to end it on a good note here because I really don't want to talk about the Phillies before I end it off because they're infuriating. But a big old happy birthday to Matty B, good friend of mine, and I really do wish hoping he's having a good day and he's relaxing with his family and stuff. Go Flyers tomorrow. I will be back tomorrow for the Phillies post game. Sorry. Tomorrow is Matty B on the Flyers call. So the Flyers are 8. The Phillies are, I think they're 7:15 tomorrow. I don't know. They should. Can they flex them out to an earlier game? I really would prefer just to sit and watch the Flyers game uninterrupted. But unfortunately, you got me again. And I'm going to tell you right now, that this Fightins final, if it ends the same way, will be. I'm just going to tell you what it's. Here's a preview. The Phillies lose again. They need to fire Rob Thompson. There's nothing good I can say. We'll be able to see what Zach Wheeler can do in his first night back. And then Matty B will be on Sunday for Down on the Farm, so we can at least look towards the future. But other than that, stay tuned to the It's a Wrap Sports Network for all the draft coverage, both on the social media as well as our live shows. Other than that, guys, thank you for joining me as always. Enjoy your Friday nights. Go Flyers. Go Sixers. Come on, keep your eye on the draft, and Phillies, get your heads out of your ass. So other than that, guys, see you next time.